This is a fun yet powerful concept that can really transform your relationship with food. This is working out what are your hell yeah and your foods. This is all about identifying the foods that you absolutely love. You know, the ones that make your taste buds sing, and separating them from those that you eat just because they're there. Understanding this can help you focus on the foods that give you joy and satisfaction, whilst avoiding unnecessary indulgences that you're just really not that fussed about. Because in my experience, it's the indulgences that you're really not that fussed about that are the ones that push you over your maintenance calories and into a surplus. And that is bananas. If only it was bananas. Let's get started. First off, how do you identify your hell yeah and your foods? So your hell yeah foods. These are the ones that you truly enjoy, your absolute favourites. Think about the meals or the snacks that just make you go, yes, I want this. The ones that you give a little kind of fist bump to when you see them on a menu in a restaurant. Those are your hell yeah foods, where nothing else on a restaurant menu, as an example, gets a look in. Then there's your meh foods. These are the foods that you eat because they're available, or they're the foods that, if you're honest, you could take or you could leave. And if you saw them on a menu, you really wouldn't be that fussed by them. But they might actually make up quite a large part of your diet. You eat the meh foods anyway. To identify your hell yeah and your meh foods, I want you to just press pause on this video and then take a moment to write down on a piece of paper the things that you truly love and that you would kind of give a little internal cheer to if you saw them on the menu or you were offered them. And then those foods that actually, think about what you've eaten over the last week that when push came to shove, you probably weren't that fussed about, but you had them anyway. This is going to help you see the difference between what your hell yeah and your meh foods are. Press pause and then hit play when you are ready to jump back in. Now that you've identified your hell yeah and your meh foods, I just want you from now on to focus on only having those hell yeah foods in your diet. Kick the meh foods to the curb, especially those that are calorically high. By prioritising the foods that you genuinely enjoy, you will find yourself more satisfied and less likely to be engaging in mindless eating and less likely to be overeating just because something is there. Remember, food is meant to be a source of joy and nourishment. So just make sure that you are filling your plate up with the things that you truly, truly love. I think the simplest way to think about this is thinking about Christmas, because I think there are so many foods at Christmas time that we eat just because they are there, but more importantly, because it's Christmas. But in actuality, we're not really that fussed by, and if push comes to shove, we just don't really like them that much. But we end up overindulging and eating them and going into a calorie surplus for stuff that we're just not fussed by. So think about things from a Christmas perspective, and that will give you a bit of an idea of what I really mean by those hell yeah and those meh foods. And then think about what that applies to and means during the rest of the year and on a day-to-day basis. Next, I want you to open up the PDF that goes along with this video and use the strategies and tactics in there to help you identify your hell yeah and your meh foods. And next time you are offered some food, before accepting it, I want you to really think about, is this a hell yeah food for me? Am I giving this a little bit of a fist pump? Or is it just something that I'm not that fussed about? And actually, I'm only going to say yes because I feel like I should. If it's the latter, then turn it down. Do not have it. And I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that a little bit rude, Katie? The answer is no, it isn't rude. You were asked if you wanted something, and no is a legitimate answer to that question. If that puts somebody's nose out of joint, that is their issue, not yours. So, moving forwards, before you accept something, before you pick something off a menu, before you have something just because, ask yourself, is this a hell yeah or is this a meh